Hey guys, it's LukeMan97. Welcome back to another video on World of Warships Blitz. And I know, guys, I'm sorry I didn't upload last Thursday like I usually do, but the thing was we didn't go to the place where I upload, so I guess I owe you guys a double upload today. So you already got the World of Warships Blitz update video today that I meant to upload last week, but like I said, didn't. But today we're reviewing another ship, as you can see. This is actually another premium, and I recently picked it up from the shipyard. This is the Japanese Tier 7 battleship, Ashitaka. So, history of the Ashitaka. This is an Amagi class battleship, and so it was laid down, I think, along with... It went through some different name changes, where I think it was first called Ashitaka, and then they renamed it Takao, like the cruiser. But, as you know, none of the Amagi class were ever finished, so, yeah, she was basically an unfinished project, and I think they converted one of these into an aircraft carrier. I'd like to say it was Ashitaka. They converted into, like, the Shokaku, maybe? I don't know. I know they converted... let me check. And we probably want to add Amagi to the comparison, obviously. Let's see. Shokaku... Sorry about that notification. Yeah, I don't know. I know they converted an aircraft carrier from one of the Amagis, but yeah, anyways. So an Amagi class, we're going to compare it to both the Nagato and the Amagi because, yeah, so this thing is basically a Tier 7 Amagi. So how does that affect it? Well, it means it can get into Tier 6 games. So it has let's just look at it. So first of all, compare it to the Nagato, because that's the other tech tree Tier 7. Ashitaka actually gets one less precise aim for some reason. Ashitaka has more hit points, but worse damage reduction, torpedo damage reduction, because you got to remember that the Amagi class were battle cruisers. The Nagato is an actual battleship. So that's why Ashitaka is faster, has worse acceleration and traverse, but better turn time. She actually has a worse reload, more guns, one extra turret, and a little bit worse range. I don't know why that is. The AA on Ashitaka is basically non-existent, and worse surface detection. But the Nagato isn't really a big deal because they're completely different. The Nagato is a battleship, Ashitaka is a battle cruiser. So let's compare it to her sister, the Amagi. The Amagi gets an extra precise aim. Amagi actually has more health and better torpedo damage reduction for some reason. Because, you know, they have to buff the Ashitaka a little bit if they're putting it in Tier 7. Because that means that this thing can get into Tier 6 games as an Amagi, basically. So they have to buff it somewhat or it'd be too overpowered. Ashitaka has better acceleration and traverse speed, but... or no, that's Amagi that has that. But Ashitaka has better turn time. The main guns are exactly the same, obviously, because they're sister ships, but Amagi has better reload, range, and damage. Like I said, Ashitaka has to be at least slightly worse, since it's a tier below. Secondaries, again, they're exactly the same, or at least should be on paper, but Amagi has better range and damage. The AA, that's where it really comes in. Amagi has decent AA for Tier 8, but Ashitaka has basically no AA whatsoever. And obviously you have better surface detection than Amagi, I don't know why, but anyways, you can see here on the deck how Ashitaka has a very clean deck. There's not really much on the deck, except for maybe a few AA cannons, but there's not a whole lot. Whereas if we look at Amagi here, we can see that there's a lot more, like, more advanced AA guns and stuff like that. So, I don't know why Ashitaka is less modern looking than Amagi, because, well, like I said, they have to buff it to put it in Tier 7, but also, it's kind of weird because, they were sister ships, so they should have had the exact same thing, and if anything, Ashitaka should have had newer stuff, because it was actually Amagi that was the lead ship of the class, which meant she would have been built first, and then Ashitaka later on. So if anything, Ashitaka should have been more modern. But anyways, that's just my thoughts on it. I'd go with the Elite Gun Operator for the Elite bonus, because it helps with the reload. Can't get the historical camo, which looks pretty good actually. Gives you hit points, range, dispersion, and torpedo damage reduction. Typical premium ship battle honors with the boosters and money and the resources for the shipyard. It actually says here. Or no, actually, she wasn't the one converted into an aircraft carrier. It says she was broken up for scrap. Yeah, okay, so I forgot to just apply that real quick. Supplies, I'd probably go with improved crew rations, warship hit points, and probably not high-grade coal. Probably refined diesel. I only have one of those, though. Equipment, I'd put the main battery mod 2 on to get the reload down as much as you can. The deck protection mod 1 to help with the fires, and the the propulsion mod 2. Commander skills, underwater protection expert, torpedo alert, high alert, victorious charge. Here I'd recommend fire supremacy because 2 precise aims isn't really enough. You need more. Generalist, marksman, extinguisher, or you could go with the adrenaline rush. I'd go with extinguisher though. Demo expert, compartment maintenance, APCS, and probably either citadel strike or horizontal protection. Both of them make sense because horizontal protection would make sense because this is a battlecruiser, so it could use some more armor, but citadel strike would also make sense because these guns, if you get citadels, they can't hit hard because these guns are like 16-inch guns but slightly bigger than 16-inch at 410 instead of 406. So yeah, basically the way this thing works is it's more of like a sniper, just like all Japanese battleships, and you have to make your salvos count because it doesn't have the shortest reload. So the secondaries are pretty decent and will set fires sometimes, but if you can help it, you don't want to get in close because this isn't a brawler. We're up against Vassar, Colorado, Bot New Mexico, Bot Fuso, New Orleans, Bot Pensacola, and Scone. We're playing Domination on Trident. So I'm probably just going to head towards C. Hopefully I don't run into the destroyer because these things aren't very good in taking care of destroyers. Unfortunately, since this thing does suffer from the turret bug because of that center turret. So if you don't know what that is, basically it's if you turn it too far this way, the turret will start rotating the other way. Wargaming, why have you still not fixed that? Wargaming needs to fix this. Anyways, we're going to head towards C. Let's see, we have Independence, Prince Heinrich, Ashitaka, Bot New Mexico, Bot Fuso, Bot Miyoko, and Mayhead. So we are kind of in a tier 6 game. We are kind of top tier as far as the aircraft carriers go. Everything else. Alright, there's a Colorado. We need to be careful, though, around it because, like I said, we don't have the best armor, and the Colorado can hit pretty hard sometimes. The precise aim only works for one salvo because the reload's longer than that, but the Colorado's on permaflood. I don't know why. 3,000 damage from that salvo, not exactly. Yeah, the thing about the Colorado is it does have pretty good armor. One thing I don't have, so be careful. Secondary range. See, you can set fires with secondary. He's firing secondary. That's the end of the Colorado. We still have a decent amount of health. So Uh-oh, here come the aircraft. That's what we're not good at. And since we don't have much armor, the armor-piercing bombs from the Blitz are especially effective. Okay, we need to turn, because I don't want to take those Scone, sorry. If I could get a shot on that Lesser, that'd be nice. There we go, got a Citadel on the baseline. Looks like the Wester's running away though, so, as he should be. Yeah, I think I might die soon. I'm gonna try to take the, okay, no, the Prince Heinrich got the Lesser. So I can smack that Scone when it tries to come. Okay, that's going. Okay, Scone missed most of his cores. There's the big caliber metal. I can heal up now. Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that Scone, honestly, because he has a really quick reload. I'm just going to get behind this Battlecruiser here. And of course, Prince Heinrich steals it. I'm calling the single fire because I'm almost dead, but the armor piercing, it usually doesn't do well against destroyers, but he was low enough that it took off enough health that it worked. But as you can see, yeah, I've already used up all my precise aims, so I definitely need to have at least 3. So I need to get my commander trained up to that skill, because it'd be nice to have 3. But as you can see, yeah, you can do a lot of damage in these things. I mean, I have gotten like 91,000 damage, which is really, really good. And 2 kills as well. So yeah, very, very, very good ship. Because like I said, sure you have worse AA than the Amagi, and you have worse, like, a lot of things than the Amagi, like damage from the guns, but the main guns and the secondaries on paper, even though they do a little bit less damage, they're exactly the same as the Amagi. So you basically have an Amagi in Tier 7, which means you can get into Tier 6 games. So, yeah, you can definitely do a lot of damage if you play this thing right. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. This ship is available in the shipyard right now until the end of the year, I believe. So if you want to get it, save up the 80 copper and get it. And I would, anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.